Alright folks, here we are back again. I'm a little too high, but I'm ready to make some excellent fetishist-oriented Greek mythology content. Am I? Yes, Bellerophon. He was one of the OG heroes. He was mentioned mainly in the Iliad by his great-grandson. And the story starts, as most good stories do. Bellerophon killed his brother for a reason I could not find. And then they exiled him because murder is bad. And he had to go be a servant to King Proteus in order to pay his penance. And Proteus's wife came on to Bellerophon and he rejected her. And then the wife told King Proteus, like, hey, he came on to me, he's a bad man. But there's this Greek concept in mythology called Xenia, which is like hospitality, and it prevents, there's like a lot of rules. You gotta be nice to your guests, you know? So King Proteus, subscribing to Xenia, is like, I can't kill this guy in my house, because then I would be a bad host, so I'm going to send him to my father-in-law with a note that says, like, the bearer of this note tried to ravish your wife, your daughter, my wife, and then, like, the father-in-law would do all the dirty work. So Bellerophon, being the good servant that he is, took the note to the father-in-law, but the father-in-law was like, I don't need to read that note. You come into my house and we'll party for 9 days. So they partied for 9 days and it was awesome. But then the father-in-law finally reads the note and he's like, oh no, I just let this guy party in my house for 9 days. I would be breaking all the rules of Xenia if I killed this guy, you know? So I'm just gonna send him on a quest where he's definitely gonna die. So the father-in-law tells Bellerophon, hey, go kill the Chimera. The Chimera is a fire-breathing, lion-headed, goat-bodied, snake-tailed monster who fucks shit up. So Bellerophon is like, great, I'll totally do that. So he goes on his way and he meets a prophet, and the prophet is like, you need to go get Pegasus. And in order to tame Pegasus, you need to go sleep in the temple of Athena, and then she'll help you. And if you guys remember, Pegasus was born from Medusa's severed head. So Bellerophon goes to sleep in the temple of Athena, and in his dreams, she gives him a golden bridle, which is like that thing that you put on a horse's head to lead it around. And he goes to a fountain where Pegasus is supposed to be and puts the bridle on, and then they become best friends, and it's great. So then they go to fight the Chimera, and Bellerophon realizes that, like, none of the things he's doing are working. The Chimera is still strong and, like, shooting fire and not taking any damage. So he decides to he puts like a big block of lead on the head of his spear, and while the Chimera is shooting fire at him, the lead is blocking it, and then he shoots the lead into the Chimera's throat, and it just suffocates to death, which is kind of fucked up. Anyway, Bellerophon goes back to the father-in-law. It's like, hey, I killed that Chimera. And the father-in-law is like, I don't believe you. So he sends Bellerophon on a bunch of other quests that for some reason there's very little information about. One of which, he goes to fight the Amazons, and he gets on Pegasus and drops a giant boulder on them. Another of which, he storms a palace and he uses like his friendship with Poseidon for some reason to flood the palace. And then all the women come out with their dresses off, and Bellerophon, being the modest guy he is, gets like uncomfortable and leaves, which is true. That's a story in Greek mythology. Anyway, he completes all these quests for the father-in-law, whose name I don't remember, but probably should. And finally the father-in-law is like, fine, you completed all the quests, you can marry my daughter, who is like the sister of that other lady who lied about you, and you can have all my vineyards and all my money. And Bellerophon was really happy until he was like, hey, I slayed the Chimera, I'm super cool, I own a bunch of vineyards, so I should get on Pegasus and fly up to Mount Olympus, because I deserve to be up there too. So he flew up to Mount Olympus on Pegasus, and Zeus was like, what the fuck, don't do that. So he sent a fly, which apparently they do a lot of flies in Greek mythology, I guess, where they, like, the fly harasses Pegasus and he kicks Bellerophon off of him and he falls all the way down from Mount Olympus into a thorn bush, and he goes blind, and then like he's miserable forever, and then he just dies. And that's the end of Bellerophon.